A lot of people think black wealth is not growing because people are not working hard enough, earning enough, or making the right moves. But that is not really the story. The truth is a lot more frustrating than that. In many cases, wealth does grow a little, but it grows in the wrong places, grows too slowly, gets eaten by debt, gets stretched across too many emergencies, or never gets enough time to compound. So from the outside, it can look like progress, but inside, it still feels fragile. And that is exactly why so many families work hard for years and still do not feel ahead.
There is a kind of progress that does not feel like progress. You make more money than you used to. You finally buy a home. You start a business. You get a better job. You do what people say you are supposed to do. And still, something feels unfinished. The cushion is small. The stress is still there. The setback still hurts too much. The future still does not feel secure. That is what confuses a lot of people. Because from the outside, it looks like wealth should be growing. And in some cases, it is. But the problem is, a little growth is not the same as real security. That is the part people miss. A lot of black families are not standing still because they are doing nothing. They are standing still because the money is being asked to do too much before it ever gets a chance to become wealth. Part 1. The problem is not just income, it's what the income has to carry. A lot of people think wealth starts and ends with income. So when they see somebody earning more than before, they assume wealth should automatically follow. But that is not how it works. Because income is what comes in, wealth is what stays. And for a lot of black families, the paycheck is already carrying too much before it ever gets a chance to grow. It has to cover the normal bills, then the higher debt, then the family help, then the emergency, then the setback from something that should have been survivable. So the issue is not always that money never shows up. It is that the money arrives tired. It arrives with too many jobs already attached to it. That makes saving harder. That makes investing slower. That makes recovery take longer. And when every dollar has to solve a current problem, very little is left to quietly become future wealth. That is why two people can earn similar money and still end up in very different places. One income gets to build, the other income has to rescue. Part 2. A lot of the wealth growth is locked in things that don't feel like cash. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings. People hear that black wealth has increased and assume that means people must be feeling more secure. Not necessarily. Because where the wealth sits matters. If the gain is mostly in home equity, that can look great on paper, but paper wealth and usable wealth are not the same thing. You can own a home that went up in value and still feel broke every month. You can technically be worth more and still not have enough liquid money for a repair, a layoff, or a medical bill. That is why this conversation gets so frustrating. Because the numbers may show improvement, but the lived experience may still feel fragile. A lot of families do not need to be told they are worth more on paper. They need cash that actually protects their life. And if most of the gain is trapped in the house while savings stay low, then the family may look stronger financially than it actually feels. That is not fake progress, but it is incomplete progress. And incomplete progress still feels scary when life gets real.
Part 3. Debt is quietly eating wealth before it has time to grow. This part does not get enough attention. A lot of people think wealth grows when income rises, but debt can cancel that growth out before it ever becomes visible. Student loans, credit cards, medical debt, higher interest borrowing, car debt that hangs around too long. All of that matters. Because debt does not just take money, it takes time. It takes the years when that money could have been saved, the years when that money could have been invested, the years when that money could have become peace. And that is why some people feel like they are always moving, but never arriving. They are earning,
They are paying, they are trying. But debt keeps grabbing the future before the future can begin. That is especially painful when the debt came from trying to do the right thing. Go to school, get transportation, handle an emergency, cover a medical need, keep the family going. So now the very things that were supposed to help create mobility are the same things slowing wealth down. That is not laziness, that is drag. And drag, over 10 or 20 years, becomes a whole different financial life. Part 4. Wealth can't compound if it keeps getting interrupted. This might be the deepest part of the whole story. Wealth loves consistency. It grows best when money gets left alone, when savings stay saved, when investments stay invested, when the plan gets time to work. But a lot of Black families do not get that kind of uninterrupted runway. There's too much interruption. A family member needs help, a job gets unstable, a health problem shows up, a car issue hits, a child needs something, a move happens, an emergency fund never gets large enough, so the same money keeps getting pulled back out. That matters more than people realize, because compounding is not just about starting. It's also about leaving the money in place long enough for it to do something powerful. And when money keeps getting reset, interrupted, borrowed against, or spent on recovery, the wealth never gets a chance to build momentum. That is why some families feel like they keep rebuilding the same foundation over and over again. It's not that they never started, it's that life keeps forcing them to restart. Part 5. The biggest gap is not always spending, it's access. A lot of people love turning every money conversation into personal discipline. And yes, habits matter, but access matters too. Access to retirement plans, access to employer matches, access to lower-cost borrowing, access to investments early, access to inheritances, access to startup money, access to good financial advice before the damage happens instead of after. That is a huge part of this. Because wealth does not grow only from effort, it grows from tools. And when one group has easier access to the tools that multiply money, while another group has to build more slowly, more cautiously, and with less margin for mistakes, the gap keeps renewing itself. That is why this issue is not just about earning more. A family can work hard for decades and still fall behind if it starts with less capital, gets less help, and has fewer chances to let money snowball. And once you understand that, the whole conversation changes. Because now you stop asking, why didn't they build more? And you start asking, how much room did they really have to build in the first place?
Part 6. Sometimes the money is growing, but the family is carrying more than just itself. This part is personal. A lot of Black households are not only trying to build for themselves, they are helping siblings, helping parents, helping children, helping extended family, helping people who have nobody else to call. And that support is real. It can be beautiful. It can be necessary. It can also slow wealth growth in ways spreadsheets do not fully capture. Because money that could have sat still gets redirected. Money that could have become investment capital becomes emergency help. Money that could have stayed inside one household gets spread across survival needs in several. Again, that does not mean the family is failing. It means the family is functioning as a safety net, and safety nets are expensive. That is one reason Black wealth can feel stuck, even when people are making sacrifices, doing things right, and trying hard to build. The money is not always disappearing because of bad choices. Sometimes it is disappearing because one stable person is carrying what the larger system failed to carry. That is a completely different story. And if people do not understand that story, they will keep misreading the numbers and misjudging the struggle.